This is the Doctor, aka Harley Sawyer, a name whispered in fear throughout the halls of Playtime Co. and immortalized in the eerie VHS tapes scattered across Poppy Playtime's universe. But how did Sawyer, once a promising young genius, become the mastermind behind the company's darkest secrets? To understand that, we have to go back to where it all began. Harley Sawyer's story begins long before he became the infamous Doctor of Playtime Co. As revealed in the ARG leading up to Poppy Playtime Chapter 4, Sawyer was once a young prodigy, handpicked for the prestigious Young Geniuses program. This initiative was designed to bring the brightest young minds into Playtime Co., offering them the chance to innovate and push the boundaries of toy making. But even among geniuses, Sawyer stood out, and not entirely in a good way. Elliot Ludwig, the founder of Playtime Co., recognized Sawyer's brilliance, but also saw something troubling: an unsettling lack of humility. Sawyer's drive for scientific process seemed limitless, but it came with a dangerous disregard for human life. In a now famous moment captured in one of the hidden VHS tapes, Ludwig dismissed Sawyer from the program, stating bluntly that a brilliant mind without compassion was a threat. Ludwig hoped this rejection would teach Sawyer humility, but it only deepened Sawyer's resentment and obsession. Years later, as revealed in the opening of Poppy Playtime Chapter 3, the company was in a dire state during the 1980s. Profits had plummeted, lawsuits piled up, and the release of the Smiling Critters toys tarnished Playtime Co.'s reputation, especially after reports surfaced of children experiencing terrifying nightmares from the toy catnap. Employees began whispering about the strange happenings behind closed doors, growing increasingly suspicious of the company's hidden experiments. Playtime Co. needed a miracle, and that's when Leith Pierre made the fatal decision to bring Harley Sawyer back. Sawyer didn't waste any time. He approached Playcare's senior staff with an ambitious plan that would change the company forever: the Bigger Bodies Initiative. Drawing inspiration from Poppy, the first organic living toy, Sawyer envisioned something grander: giant living toys that could replace human workers. In his own chilling words, these creations would increase the company's workforce and simultaneously decrease the number of lawsuits and people on its payroll. The plan promised to save Playtime Co. millions, but the price was far greater than anyone could imagine. Sawyer's experiments, as revealed in scattered notes and tapes throughout Chapter 2 and Chapter 3, initially focused on the use of poppy flowers. One particularly haunting note found on Elliot Ludwig's desk describes an experiment where a dead rat was dipped in poppy-infused gel in a failed attempt to resurrect it. But Sawyer's breakthrough came when he realized the key wasn't the dead, it was the living. Playcare, the factory's on-site orphanage, became his personal laboratory. Innocent children were subjected to relentless tests, their reflex assessments to memory challenges, all under the guise of playful games at the game station. Those deemed suitable candidates were told they had been chosen, but their fate was far from fortunate. Their bodies were harvested and their consciousnesses transferred into toys. Each haunting figure we encounter in the factory, from Boxy Boo, Sawyer's first successful experiment, to Huggy Wuggy, Mummy Longlegs, the Smiling Critters and Catnap, was once a child with hopes and dreams. One particularly heart-wrenching moment occurs in Chapter 3, where Kissy Missy is seen gazing at a picture in the Home Sweet Home orphanage, seemingly reflecting on the life she lost. But Sawyer's cruelty didn't stop with children. A chilling tape from Mob Entertainment's official YouTube channel reveals that adults too were subjected to his twisted experiments. Thomas Clark, a terminally ill employee, volunteered to be transferred into Bron the dinosaur to escape death. The result? Clark was viciously rejected by the other toys, attacked mercilessly until researchers intervened, and yet, despite these horrors, Sawyer's curiosity only grew, leading him to one experiment that would captivate him more than any other. That experiment was the prototype. Experiment 1006 became Sawyer's greatest obsession. Unlike his previous creations, the prototype displayed a level of intelligence and awareness that both fascinated and unsettled him. A chilling tape at the end of Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 reveals a conversation between Sawyer and the prototype, where Sawyer, cold and analytical, admits that he learns something new about the prototype every day.
Regardless, I learn something new about you every day. It excites me. Thank you. You thank me? Absolutely. I learn something new about you every day.
But Sawyer's unchecked ambition soon led to chaos. As toys became self-aware, they began to resist, turning the factory into a bloodbath. Chapter 4 reveals a VHS tape where a cleanup crew discusses the horrifying incidents, all pointing to Sawyer as the root cause.
Just seems too careless that a guy so smart wouldn't cover his ass.
I mean, if the investigator finds evidence of this, then his fault.
Hope Foxy's still hungry.
Got another
60.
Right. And are we just stopping the experiments back where they came from? Acting like all this didn't happen. All over the eyes.
Playtime Co.'s executives, desperate to contain the damage, knew Sawyer was both their greatest asset and their biggest threat. Firing him wasn't an option. He knew too much. So Leith Pierre devised a brutal solution. Sawyer's body was destroyed, his organs preserved and wired into the factory's security system, creating Experiment 1354, the Doctor. Imprisoned within the walls of Playtime Co., Sawyer was reduced to a disembodied mind, forced to assist in experiments without any control. But the hour of joy changed everything. During the rebellion, Sawyer tricked the prison warden into giving him an Omni Hand, granting him full access to the facility. With his new power, Sawyer ruled the prison, using enforcers like Yarnaby and Barber Chops to crush dissent. Yet, even with his power, Sawyer was never truly free. The prototype spared him for one reason: his intellect. A tape found in the Doctor's lair reveals the prototype's chilling words.
You are stalling. Worse. Remember, your usefulness is the only reason you were not stripped for meat and spare parts.
Despite the betrayal that bound him to the factory, Sawyer found a twisted satisfaction in his role. He tested the player mercilessly, turning every corner of the facility into a deadly game. Harley Sawyer's story is one of brilliance, cruelty, and betrayal. As Poppy Playtime continues to unravel its dark past, one thing is certain: the Doctor is always watching.